What's up, rock stars? It's Rocks with a little bit of talk about what's at the top of the blogs. So let's get to it. Back in September of 2015, Jelani Mirage and his blushing bride, Jacqueline Robinson, got married in a lavish wedding in New York, and his sister paid for everything. I actually remember seeing his sister's post about the wedding. His sister would be Nicki Minaj, of course. And she said, I would cross the ocean for you. I would go and bring you the moon. Promise you, for you I will. I love my brother so much, man. Can't believe I cried during his wedding and his first dance like a punk. May God bless him and his union. Tonight has been one of my favorite nights of all time. I'd do anything to see my brother smile, unquote. Did I put the quote on the front of it? Anyway. That was back in, I believe, September of 2015. And that should have been the beautiful beginning of a union between two people who love each other. But instead, no more than 3 months later, Jelani Mirage was being accused of molestation of his then 11-year-old stepdaughter. Now, we talked about this before, back when the allegations were made, and for the most part, it's been pretty quiet until now because the case is now in order. And we are getting everybody's testimony from the case. So probably the most explosive testimony has been so far from the son of Jacqueline Robinson. Back then he was 8 years old, and he testified that he saw his stepfather in a dark room with his pants around his ankles and his sister with him with her pants down as well. He said it didn't look right to him, so he was afraid and he ran away. So when he finished what he was doing, he went and found the little boy, asked the little boy, did you see anything? He says yes. He says, listen, if you say anything to your mother, you will never see her again. So had threatened the little boy. Also, the mother, the ex-wife, did testify yesterday. She said, basically within the couple of months after their wedding, they were not having sex with each other any longer, that he had begun drinking a lot. She came home one day, I guess the day that the little girl had told social services that she had been molested. She said she came home to a drunken, enraged Jelani, and he was mad at the daughter for saying anything, and he was yelling at her and asking her if she said anything, and she said no, but the mother could tell that her daughter was scared. The mom did say that even when she asked her daughter had anything happened, the daughter did say no, but when they did the rape kit, that's when they found out that she had indeed been penetrated. And then we also have heard about the semen that was found on her pajama pants. They did kind of make mention of this before. I remember talking about it or reading about it last year. People were saying that it could have possibly gotten on her pants by being in the laundry bag with all of the other dirty clothes, and the semen could have been from his underwear, could have been from the mother's underwear, from them having sex. So, people were trying to say even back then that there may have been some contamination. Now that the case is in court, they had a forensic expert. Her name was Erica Ziernak. Okay, and she testified that there was a mixture of DNA on the girl's pants. But she did find that there was less than a 1 in 348 billion chance that the DNA found on the then 11-year-old's pajama pants belonged to someone other than Jelani Mirage. So without them saying that it is 100% Jelani's, like someone said when I was reading up on it, they were obviously trying to cast some reasonable doubt. I don't know if you can still cast reasonable doubt over 1 in 348 billion. I mean, those odds seem very high, implicating Jelani Mirage. But we'll see. Some people are saying that they can't take DNA that has been tainted or that has been mixed or whatever. But again, we'll see. I'm sure that when it comes down to the jury that will be deciding on this case, that it is going to be a combination of the testimony and the DNA, the DNA proof. There was all this talk saying that Nicki Minaj was going to testify because supposedly Jelani's defense has been that this is all a shakedown on Jacqueline Robinson's part, and that they were trying to get money out of Nicki Minaj. Supposedly Jacqueline told Nicki Minaj at one time that she could make the case go away if they gave her so many millions of dollars. I think it was somewhere around $10 million. So the rumor had gotten out pretty quickly that Nicki Minaj was going to be testifying, but that turned out to be not true. I was like, I hope she's not testifying. She needs to distance herself from this as much as possible. We know that's your brother. I'm sure you love him, but she didn't need that kind of drama in her life. On top of that, they're saying that Jelani's defense team is also trying to move for a mistrial because they were denied access to the victim. Something about they were trying to possibly settle, and because the prosecution would not make her available, they weren't able to do so, or something like that. Look, you guys, bottom line is the case is just sick. I'm sure that it could be a shakedown. Those things are never impossible, but I'm having a hard time not believing these kids. I just would hate to think that people would put their children up to something like this, all in the name of what? I mean, is this going to be a monetarily satisfied court case? Like, are they just going to make money off of it and that be it? No, I'm sure they want this man to go to jail, right? He doesn't have that money. That money belongs to his sister. So, you know, I'm just not real sure if I believe that these kids are lying, this mother is lying. Shit turned around so quickly. I mean, they got married and then a couple of months later it was all bad. I know I should give the benefit of the doubt, but you guys, I just can't. I just cannot do it. The story, as you hear the testimony, just seems like it implicates him more and more. But I guess we'll see. You guys let me know what you think about the case. Have you guys been following it? What do you believe, like, in your heart of hearts? Do you believe that this man was attacking this little girl? Because when you really think about it, I mean, 11 years old. I mean, I know there are some kids that are active at that age, but I mean, it's just to think that, I mean, because I guess Jelani's team is saying that this little girl was actually active. She's been penetrated. That has been proven. So, I don't know. I would hate for a child predator, a molester, a rapist, you know, to be let free. So I'm just going to pray that the right outcome comes from this. And if he is indeed guilty, that he spends a good part, if not the rest of his life, in jail. Alright, you guys, other big story that's all over the blogs is Tamar and Vince have called it quits. That is right, you guys. They say after 9 years of marriage, after 14 years of being together, what I done told y'all about them 7 years, y'all gonna believe me one day. Anyway, they've been together 14 years, married 9 years, and it's a wrap. At least that's what TMZ is saying. They're saying that they did see the paperwork that was filed in Los Angeles, California. And I don't know, you guys, I'm not surprised. It did make me sad because like Tamar Braxton said on the Breakfast Club interview, that marriage is hard work and you have to work at it every day. Somebody in my Instagram post yesterday was just like, I don't think marriage is hard work all the time. And I said, well, you know, Tamar didn't really lie. Marriage is work every single day. It might not necessarily be hard work, but when shit is especially bad at the time in your marriage, then it does feel like hard work. You know, sometimes you can't see the forest for the trees. You can only see what is exactly around you. And if your circumstances says it's bad, you may feel like you're working hard all the time. But even when things are good, marriage is work. Okay, sometimes it's bad work, sometimes it's good work, but it will always be work. You are working with somebody else other than yourself, you guys, and you always have to take in consideration your mate, your spouse. So, you know, she didn't lie when she said that. And we also know that Vince and Tamar, now first of all, they've lived the last at least 5 years of their life on a reality show. And I just told you guys the other day that, you know, strong marriages have hard times on reality shows. When you have a weakened marriage, you are almost doomed. I don't know if Vincent and Tamar was in a bad place when they first started on Braxton Family Values, but all of the shine that Tamar has gotten from that show has, a lot of it has been negative. I'm sure that's been weighing on the marriage. Their Vince and Tamar show also weighed negatively on the marriage. We've heard about financial problems, him owing money to a whole bunch of staff and music producers and engineers and a whole bunch of folks around the United States. On top of that, owing money to Sony Records, I believe it is, $6 million. Looks like they're liquidating their assets, just put their home on the market out there in Calabasas, California. We've heard about cheating rumors on both ends. We've all but seen them fighting. The biggest fight that really did make it to the blogs was when they were at the Ritz last year and he bit her hand. He even said that Toni Braxton had called the police, and it was a pretty big story. So Tamar and Vince have been going through a lot, and now they're saying that the reason why it has finally come to an end is because of her depressive state after she was fired from The Real. And side note, they know they was real shady on The Real for even mentioning this girl's marriage, her divorce. Okay, I know that The Real has a segment where they talk about current events and what is happening in the news, entertainment, gossip, and whatnots, but just the fact that they've never really talked about Tamar since she left, and for them to talk about this now, it didn't feel sincere at all from any of them. So yeah, that was my little side note. But anyway, so supposedly she was depressed about that, and I'm sure it knocked her off her square and probably made her feel less adequate. You know, something tells me that Tamar has self-esteem issues anyway, and so all of that weighed in on her marriage. And okay, fast forward to a couple of days ago, they have decided to call it quits. So it's just too bad, you guys. It is too bad. Now, I would be remiss if I didn't mention that the new season of Tamar and Vince is coming out, I think, November 9th. No, I will not be reviewing that show. Y'all know I gave up the Braxtons a long time ago. But, you know, somebody did mention, or it has been going around a little bit, that this sounds like it might be somewhat of a publicity stunt. Okay, a la The Family Hustle, T.I. and Tiny. Okay, remember Tiny had filed for divorce, and then she and T.I. had opened up their lives supposedly to their divorce shenanigans on the show. And then once the show went off the air, then they were really, it didn't even seem like they was ever broke up. But if they were broke up, they were back together immediately, worked through it and everything. Okay. And a lot of people are saying they feel like this might be the same approach that Tamar and Vince is making. Get more people to watch the show. I don't know if this is going to be the last season of Tamar. Well, if they are getting a divorce, I'm sure it will be the last season of Tamar and Vince. But I guess time will tell. All right. That does give me the little bit of a side eye because, you know, I never understand why people are willing to display their marital problems on a reality show, but then be upset when everybody be in your fucking business. Okay, you either gonna be one way or the other. You just gonna give it to all of us and not say nothing, or you won't say anything and you work on either going through with this divorce or fixing the marriage. So I don't know, we gonna see. I would like to see them make it, just because I know that marriage is something that you probably should not just throw away. And sometimes you are over it though. I have been there. My husband has been there. My friends have been there. Okay, my family have been there. People have been there. We know how it can be. So, you know, you would like to know that people can work through their problems and keep it together, especially when they have a kid, they have a family, and you would like to see the family unit stay together. So anyway, that's it. That is it. Either way it goes, hopefully it is not too much of a mess for either one of them. And that's pretty much all I feel, you know. Hold your head up, Tamar and Vince. One way or the other, it's gonna be all right. And then speaking about divorces and Tamar and The Real and everything, I guess we can talk about Ginny Myers. So Ginny on The Real came out the other day and said that she and her husband are breaking up because he wants kids and she doesn't. People want to know if I feel that that's something worth breaking up a marriage about. I will say this. When you're married, of course, you make compromises. And certain things you do that you might not necessarily want to do, but you are doing it in the spirit of trying to make your significant other, your spouse, happy. And that is the give and take of a marriage. But there are life decisions that, in my opinion, are not anything that you should bend on. And whether or not you're going to bring children into this world is one of them. Now, I'm not quite sure if they went to counseling before they were married, because premarital counseling definitely comes across this subject of having children. But I'm assuming that if they did have counseling, they may have decided then that either they knew they didn't want kids, or they possibly would have kids in the future. Well, Jenny said that she's never wanted to have kids. So I'm left to assume that he went on along with her and said that he didn't want kids either. They got married, and then as time goes on, he has changed his mind, and he should be allowed to do that. I mean, as you grow older, your priorities change. Things that you want, that you thought you didn't want, come to the surface, and he wants to have kids now. But the same way he was able to change his mind, Jenny should be able to not change her mind as well. She's always said that she didn't want kids. He knew that she didn't want kids. And now that he decided that he wants kids, that doesn't mean that I need to change my feelings of not wanting kids. So in this type of situation, I don't really see how it would work out, you staying in a marriage when one person wants to have the child and the other person doesn't. Okay, to me, and this might not be right, but in my opinion, when the mother don't really want children, if you're a woman and you don't want to have children, you should not have children. Plenty of us have friends out there that got one child, and you already know that they shouldn't have had that damn one child. They know that they shouldn't have had that one damn child. They're not the best mother to that one child. You know, they turn out a child that has grown up and is, somewhat fucked up. So to curtail all of that and to avoid being a parent that's really detached or not necessarily happy with, the fact that now they're a mother, these kind of things bring in resentment issues and can eventually weigh down a marriage. So to avoid all of that, I don't have any problems with women saying that they don't want to have kids. There's just some people just don't want to have kids, and that is fine. Okay, but the same way she doesn't want to have kids, he should be able to have kids. And if she can't provide that for him, then she needs to let him go. And that's basically what she said. So I agree with Jenny. Certain things you just can't bend on, and definitely having children is one of them. Okay, so while it's sad that another marriage is ending, I totally understand. What y'all think? Do you think Jenny is being selfish? Do you think he's wrong for changing his mind? Or do you think that they both made the best decisions for their marriage, and hopefully they'll be able to find happiness in the future? Y'all let me know. Chris Brown. Yeah, he looks like he's on drugs to me, but he's looked like he's been on drugs for a long time as far as I have been concerned. So ain't really much more that I can say about it. I mean, he was on the Angie Martinez show, and he was talking about his love/lust for J-Lo. I guess she is in his new music video. He was going on and on about how she could get it anytime, and it was funny enough, cute enough, but I was more concerned about the constant moving, the shiftlessness of Chris Brown. And it immediately took me back to, you guys remember the movie Ray with Jamie Foxx about Ray Charles's life? I can specifically remember a scene when his producer was letting him know, like, hey, listen, you starting to get that junkie itch, and I just need to let you know your slip is hanging. That's like one of my favorite little sayings, because that lets you know that shit is falling apart. Okay, and that is what I see when I see Chris Brown. Like, I feel like he was moving, he was sort of slurring. Some people are saying that, it does have like a little bit of a southern slur with him being from Virginia. He does have a raspy voice. I mean, yeah, but still it was pronounced. It sounded like he was slurring. He was moving all the time, and he was gray. Like, why do you guys think that color is right for him? People were talking about the jaw, how it was starting to look gaunt. And It is really too bad. I know there's a lot of talk about, everybody having a responsibility of calling him to the carpet about his drug issues. And, when he goes on these radio shows or on all these different, when he's around all these different people, that they should be talking to him and trying to help him. My thing is this: we can go on and on about people being around him and not correcting the problem, not talking to him. Not telling him what he is doing wrong. But the truth of the matter is, Chris Brown is an extremely rich man who, up until now, has been able to support the habit that he has and still be quite successful with his music career. He really doesn't have to listen to anyone. Nobody. The mom supposedly is around right now, but he doesn't listen to her, and I'm assuming she's hoping that she can be around him in some sort of capacity than to be completely cut off from him. I mean, I'm sure she is supported financially by him as well. So, even if she does tell him what he should or should not be doing, Chris Brown doesn't have to listen. He doesn't have to listen to anybody. And the minute that people start telling him shit that he doesn't want to hear, he can just cut them off. He could just get rid of them. So we can play the blame game, but really it doesn't solve anything, because Chris Brown is a grown man who does what the hell he wants to do. And even if you did confront him, do you really think that he is going to admit it? I mean, Diane Sawyer interviewing Whitney Houston, anybody? I mean, we knew that Whitney Houston was on drugs. We had seen her. She had lost weight. She had also lost her voice, had that same kind of movement, that same kind of weirdness about herself. And she denied right there on the show that she was not on drugs. Okay? And then fast forward some years later, we saw how that came to an end. Sadly, I've said it before, I just feel like we're going to have to watch Chris Brown come to some sort of end. I'm hoping that it's not his life. Never will want that on anybody. But if it has to come to an end in his career, financially, when he finally hits whatever the rock bottom is for him, that will only be the time where he will admit to himself that he has a problem. But as far as anything else, him going around and saying, he's on interviews and just saying that he's nervous, that's not nervous. That's not a nervous type of movement. I feel sorry for Chris Brown. I mean, Chris Brown has had a rough road. A lot of it brought on by himself, and then other parts also because society has kind of cast him as a one of those people. So it's just a sad story all the way around. Ever since that Rihanna incident, the boy ain't been right. We was hoping that when he had his daughter Royal, that was going to kind of rein him in, and it looks like it did for a minute, and it looks like it does whenever he's around her. But even that eventually will fall apart. Drug addicts cannot maintain a stable life because eventually it takes more and more for you to get high, and you get more and more addicted, and it's just a mess. So I feel sorry for him, but I don't really know what else anybody can do. Blaming everybody though and saying how people need to talk to him about it, that really to me is not going to do anything, or else it would have already worked. Do you feel any kind of sympathy for or empathy for Chris Brown, or do you feel like, oh well? Alright, you guys, so NAACP has put out a statement that says that they've been watching American Airlines for some time now, and that they are noticing a, quote, pattern of disturbing incidents, unquote, when it comes to black folks riding their airlines. They've been so worried about American Airlines that they have decided to warn us black folks of the dangers of flying with American Airlines. And they have said to us that when you're booking and boarding your flights for American Airlines, just be aware that you might be harassed. They say that American Airlines is disrespectful, discriminatory, and generally unsafe. When I read that yesterday, I was really, you guys, I just was like, this is really interesting. Don't get me wrong. I'm glad that NAACP has decided to, take a stand on an issue that they think affects colored people. But does anybody else find it quite strange that with all of the things that have been happening in the world lately, NAACP hasn't taken this large of a stance, hasn't made this large of a statement about a huge company or conglomerates such as American Airlines. When have you heard NAACP say anything about, say, police brutality and how black people should be cautious when they are stopped and pulled? You know what I'm saying? I mean, I'm sure that NAACP individually and branches and whatnots have tried to make some differences, but as a blanket statement for something like this, when the last time you heard something about NAACP? When it was the white chick thought she was black? That's really the last time that I heard anything big about NAACP. So I was just like, oh, this is interesting. This is interesting. Now, I could be wrong, and maybe you guys can remind me of maybe any other times that NAACP has, really made a statement. But I honestly can't think of anything. American Airlines has shot back and said, listen, we have a staff of plenty races, nationalities, genders, religions. They do not discriminate, okay? And that they will continue to strive and work hard to make sure that their airlines is, safe and welcoming to anybody that wants to fly. That whole story is very peculiar to me, but maybe it's just me being negative. Not really trying to be negative, okay? We as black people, or, as far as the NAACP is concerned, colored people, could use somebody that's willing to speak out for us. I just want them to speak out in a lot of things, not just one strange small thing. You guys see what I'm saying? Y'all let me know what you think. I must say rest in peace to Robert Guillaume. He was most widely known for his character Benson. Started out on a TV show called Soap, and then he went on to get the spinoff Benson, which was about a butler who actually went on to become governor. Old head rock stars will remember the show Benson and Soap. Some of my younger rock stars might remember the voice of Robert Guillaume in the movie The Lion King. And I guess really not that much younger. I mean, Lion King, did you guys know Lion King was almost 25 fucking years old? I was like, I am really getting old, you guys. But he was the voice of Rafiki, one of the baboons in the movie. Was he a baboon? Rafiki was a baboon, right? Anyway, he was the voice of Rafiki in The Lion King. Robert Guillaume made a big splash in Hollywood because he was a black actor who did not necessarily play parts that black actors was playing. He always thought out of the box, and he went for roles and got roles that wasn't necessarily for black people. He even, a big staple in his Broadway career was when he played the title role in Phantom of the Opera. Okay, he could sing, he could act, he was a triple threat, and very valuable loss in Hollywood. His wife put out a statement that said that he died from complications of prostate cancer, and that he leaves behind that wife as well as a son and a daughter, countless other family, friends, and fans around the world. Okay, he was 89 years old. Rest in peace to Robert Guillaume. Then in quickies. First, everybody is all up in arms about DJ Envy and his supposed Snapchat DMs with a certain somebody about 9.5-inch dildos and strap-ons and having anal sex and being licked here and there and whatnots. I heard about the story. I was just like, huh? I was like, I know DJ Envy, who was caught cheating with, was it Air Camina back in the day? Who went onto the radio and cried and sobbed and apologized to his wife, and they were able to work it out and seemed to be very strong. Went on to have a whole bunch of damn kids after that. I was just like, I know he ain't stupid enough to be caught up in some damn Snapchat shit. Like, certain things when you become a celebrity, you just know you just can't do. Okay, so I was listening to that story and I was like, that don't sound true. Like, I know he wouldn't be that stupid. Turns out that they've come out and said that it isn't true. Yet and still on Breakfast Club, they did still tease him, and everybody got a little giggle about it. You guys know, if you have Snapchat, that you can save a contact any name, and that's what's going to come up on your Snapchat screen when you're talking to that person. So for instance, if I have a Snapchat, if I have it saved as Debbie Sell in my phone, it's not going to show the actual Snapchat name that she has. It's going to show the contact name that I have her in my phone book for. You see what I'm saying? So even if it said DJ Envy or whatever his Snapchat name was up there at the top, that doesn't mean that was him. I don't believe that was him. But anyway, everybody got a good little giggle about it, so whatever. Why y'all ain't buying tickets to see Tina Campbell's It's Still Personal tour? She pissed y'all niggas off, didn't she? Girl, you had the nerve to schedule a tour in the middle of all that Donald Trump bullshit, his Christian values and how you supported him and voted for him and you couldn't stand for Hillary, and I mean anybody else would have been better than Donald Trump, but you know, she stood firm on her word. You know, that's what she said and that's what she meant and yada yada yada, and okay, that's fine, Tina, but ain't nobody come to see you, girl. Couldn't you sell that shit on Groupon? That motherfucker was $10. They were just like, nah, baby, we ain't coming to see you. So she put out a statement and she said, look, we gonna go on and reschedule this tour. Hopefully, you know, you as black folks, y'all can't keep on task too long. So, you know, by the time we get to next spring, y'all be done forgot about what I said. I'ma lay low on the Chrisette Michelle tip, because you ain't heard shit about Chrisette after she made that damn faux pas singing at the inauguration. But yeah, Tina said, I'ma lay low like Chrisette and see what y'all talking about in the spring of next year. Bitch, we ain't coming to see you then either, okay? We have washed our hands of you. Poor Tina. It's too bad that Tina is crazy, because Tina is actually the more talented of the Mary group. Erica has the better personality and we like Erica, but nobody can argue that Tina's voice is much stronger than Erica's is. We could just switch the two of them up, then we would have a win-win all the way around, you know. The motherfucker wouldn't be as talented and, you know, we couldn't stand her, but you know, we got this problem with personalities not matching up with the talent. But anyway, you know, y'all gonna go see, y'all gonna support your girl Tina, okay? She ain't said she's sorry, but something tell me she is. Mary J's husband, or soon-to-be ex-husband, Ken Do say, listen here. I don't know what Mary thinks she doing out there, but I can't get by on this 32 G's a month because she out there singing about this damn divorce and making me look bad. Okay, so judge, listen. Damn it, I need 32 more. Ken Do is trying to tell the judge that he needs $65,000 a month because he cannot find a job. That Mary's constant down talk of him, their relationship, has caused people to not want to hire him. And listen, I'm sure that probably is the case. And that is the downfall of being caught cheating on somebody who not only controls your income, but has the platform and the voice and the following of fans that will listen to anything that she has to say about your ass, okay? And I'm about willing to bet that Mary ain't got too many positive things to say about Kendu Isaacs right now. So that was dumb on your part. Let that be a lesson to all men out there. You must remember who holds the cards. Even though I don't believe Mary J. Blige is going to come out of this unscathed, okay, this temporary judgment of $30,000 or $32,000 a month is just temporary. Mary J. is going to have to pay something. It ain't going to be this $125,000 a month that he was hoping for, but she's going to have to end up paying something. But still, Mary J. Blige is going to use every opportunity that she has to make you look bad, okay? Kendu gots to be more careful. And oh yeah, the judge shut that shit down real quick. He was like, baby, if you can't make it on 32,000, nigga, you can't make it on shit. Better get the fuck up out my court with that. Johnny Blaze, she had a rant, an all-day rant the other day. Supposedly she was supposed to be on Love and Hip Hop Atlanta, and they're taping at the moment, and not really sure what happened with her and Stevie J. Supposedly Stevie J sent somebody, from just what I'm hearing what Johnny Blaze was saying, she was making it seem like Stevie J had sent somebody to try to beat her up or something. Whatever it was, she was real mad. So she decided to spill the beans, tell us the storylines that are upcoming, kind of spoil it for Mona and the rest of them at Mona and Me. So she said that Stevie J is supposedly going to be exposed for having sex with a transgendered woman. Can't remember what the girl's name is, but was it Shauna Brooks or something like that? She also said that Stevie J is using some girl that's in Rick Ross's camp to make Jocelyn jealous. I guess that means that Jocelyn is back on the show, even though they tried to make it seem like she wasn't. But then later on in another rant, she talked about how Love and Hip Hop had contacted her to replace Jocelyn, or to, that they're trying to get some personalities that are big and bold to replace Jocelyn. So I'm not really quite sure if Jocelyn's supposed to be on there or not. She made it seem like she was at one point, and then she wasn't at another point. She also said that they're paying Kirk's baby mama, to say that that's his baby, the Frost facts, y'all. We done been back and forth with that shit so much. I mean, I had even started to bend on my opinion and feel like maybe he did, fuck this girl and had his baby. But now that, I'm just like, so over the Frost facts. I haven't seen Jasmine or Thin Ving or the baby or anybody, but people are saying that the baby actually looked like Thin Ving and not like D-Lo anyway. So she went on and on about all of that, and how she gonna beat folks' ass, and you ain't never got to be counting her out, and this, that, and the other. She got all these other shows that she working on. She don't need Love and Hip Hop ATL. She gonna tell the storylines, and I was like, girl, we still gonna watch. We know it's bullshit already. And then lastly, you guys, congratulations are in order for Khloe Kardashian and Tristan. Okay, they say that we do know that they're already infanticipating, even though nobody seems to have confirmed it. Now they're saying that they are having a baby boy, and I was like, thank God for small favors, because what a baby gonna look like that come out of Khloe. Let that baby be a boy, child. Congrats are also in order for Toya Wright. Remember, we talked about her being pregnant by the sports agent. We still don't really know much about him. I haven't heard a name, but she had a gender reveal the other day, and we found out that she is having a girl. And then lastly, congratulations are in order to Neo and Crystal Renee. They are also having another baby. You guys remember how their marriage started off on drama because everybody was upset about how he supposedly had done Manetta. And we got past that. Crystal and Neo got married. She had her baby, and now she's pregnant again. Seems Manetta is not upset about it at all. As a matter of fact, she said that her kids are looking forward to their new sibling, and they're wondering if it's going to be a boy or a girl. So I say, you know what, that's great. Even though we still got a little bit of the side eye for Schaefer's ass, there's something to be said for maturity and moving on with your life and knowing that that wasn't for you and something else will come better. I think Manetta is engaged, right? She did also move on with her life. So you know what, everybody seems to be happy. All's well that ends well. Okay, so congratulations to Crystal and Neo. They'll be having a bouncing baby whatever soon enough. Alright, you guys, about to order my sushi and then get on back to work. You guys, we do this every single week, so make sure that you rate, comment, and subscribe, and make sure you come back. Till next time, rock stars. Bye.